Good afternoon, everybody. At 1:02 p.m. today, the Bell County Communications Center dispatched a wildland fire response for a report of a grass fire around the area of Atkinson Drive, approximately 400 Liberty Court and Atkinson Drive. The initial response was 2 brush trucks, 2 suppression units for structure protection, and 2 battalion chiefs. The Battalion 1 Chief was the initial unit on scene within 4 minutes of the initial dispatch and reported a grass fire that had also gotten into a large area of overseas storage boxes. That overseas storage box was about 15 yards by 50 yards stacked 3 high. At the time, wind gusts were above 30 miles per hour, and a second call came in for a fire in the roof of the Liberty Apartments located at 400 Liberty Street. That was due to the high wind gusts and the embers from the initial fire. A total of 4 structures have been involved, 3 significantly and 1 minor. Total units that have been brought to the scene are 21 fire department apparatus from the entire Killeen Fire Department and surrounding agencies throughout all of Bell County. We also have 38 law enforcement on scene between the Killeen Police Department, Bell County Sheriff's Office, and DPS. We have about 30 displaced people from the 18-unit apartment building. That is a total loss. That fire was out of control before we could even get the first unit on the scene. We are still conducting primary and secondary searches to ensure that everybody was able to get out of those buildings. Reunification center has been set up at the Destiny Church on 101 North W.S. Young Drive. We also have Texas Department of Emergency Management and the Bell County Emergency Management Office assisting Killeen's emergency management, who are going to be assisting those folks with their displacements. And I'm available for any questions.
Were there any injuries or
fatalities?
Or any fatalities? We did see like a lot of ambulance going by and stuff like that. So were there any fatalities or injuries?
At this time, we're not aware of any injuries or fatalities, but it is too soon to make that determination. As we start to de-escalate a little bit now, we can begin those more in-depth searches of the affected buildings and be able to make a better determination. So it's too soon to say with certainty that we have no fatalities.
This is about the bus barn. Were any buses impacted by this or affected?
Our initial reconnaissance is showing that there's some minor involvement of a couple of buses, but not to the point of a total loss. Just a little bit of flame impingement to the exterior of those units, but it did not affect any other vehicles on the KISD bus barn property. It appears that perhaps a shed or some plastic piping might have been involved, and that was quickly extinguished.
I mean, how many units were on scene? I know that you all had help from other people.
We have a total of 21 fire department units out on scene right now, and those are just suppression units and a couple of ambulances that are standing by for rehab and in case anybody gets injured.
So there was a total of 4 structure fires?
Correct.
Clarifying which ones were serious and which ones were not.
With the exception of the Habitat for Humanity building, which was just a small exterior fire, the other 3 structures that were involved are total losses.
I'm sorry if you said this already. The animal shelter. Did you have to remove any animals or anything?
No, the animal shelter is a good distance away and was not affected whatsoever by this incident.
Okay.
Chief, can you tell us how long will first responders be out at the areas and the roads that are blocked off all around 38th, Rancier, and Veterans?
I'll let Chief Lopez talk about what roads we have closed off. He's got a better handle on that. We are going to be out here for a significant amount of time, greater than 24 hours for sure, as we get into these other buildings and continue to work on the smoldering fires.
Real quick, I think you already said this, but still, I mean, the high winds and did that play a huge factor in this?
It absolutely played a factor in the spread of the fire from the area of initial involvement. It jumped over 2 buildings and affected that apartment building. So there's no doubt that it was embers from the initial fire, the high winds that we were faced with the 18-unit apartment building being fully involved within 2 minutes of arrival of the first unit.
We were watching it as it started and built. There was an awful lot of black smoke. We were thinking it had something to do with maybe gasoline or some kind of storage unit for chemicals, something like that.
Anytime you
Black
get,
smoke.
yeah, anytime you get involvement of any type of material other than natural wood, you're going to get black smoke. That's just all of the hydrocarbons that are in all of our daily use things. So anything that was in those storage containers, there might have been small propane tanks in there, and if you were hearing
That's what I was
loud pops, that's the overpressurization of small gas storage type vessels. And we were faced with many of those just by the nature of the storage building. It's a moving storage building, so you never know what's going to be inside of any of those storage containers.
I'm sure you don't know at this point, but can you tell us what started the fire or where the point was that you were just talking about, where it started?
We know it was directly outside of the Mayflower storage building. Again, in that area where the storage, the overseas storage containers were stacked 15 meters wide, 15 yards wide, 50 yards deep, and 3 tall. So it was a very heavy fire load, and that's what was fully involved upon the first unit's arrival.
Any of that illegal?
Uh,
Stacked not according to code?
The fire marshal's office is on scene, and they're going to investigate all of those and make those determinations.
Thank you.
And for traffic road closures, Chief Lopez?
Yes, first of all, I want to thank all the first responders that responded, KISD, Bell County Sheriff's Department, Parker Heights Fire Department, Temple, all the first responders, because they quickly were able to respond and get the scene under control. Now, as far as traffic, we asked the public to stay away from the area for several more hours, because KFD and the firefighters are going to be out there making sure that all the structures are out, all the structure fires are out, and everyone is safe. We asked anybody that was that had their apartments damaged in the 300 block of
Liberty Street.
Liberty Street, that they report to the Reunification Center on W.S. Young at Destiny Church, so we could try to get them in touch with the Red Cross. We do have Red Cross representatives en route, so we could provide that assistance. But again, I ask the public, please stay away from the area for the next several hours until the KFD and the firefighters complete the job.
I just have one more question. Are you able to, the people who were displaced, are you able to describe how they were, like as far as, scared, afraid, like are you able to describe that?
I've not yet met with them. As soon as we can wrap up this conference here, I will make my way over to Destiny Church to meet with all of the affected families and just extend whatever assistance we can. It's definitely a big loss for them because everything in their apartment is gone. It is a complete loss. They did not have time to get anything.
If I could add a little bit more to that question. Upon arrival, KPD and KFD started immediately evacuating those residents. So of course, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when you police are banging on your door telling you to get out and you see smoke and fire, it's traumatic. But they were able to get everybody out to the apartment complex and everybody cooperated and we got them away safely. As of right now, we're not aware of any injuries. Pray to God that after the KFD completes their search, we don't find any fatalities in there, but that's still at this time we do not know.
I
Chief
mean,
Heidel.
I want to know, just you pulling up to the scene, and I know you did a lot of fires, but I mean, how was this one? If you could just describe what was going through your mind, seeing how this fire was, seeing that it was so large and spread to different structures.
This is definitely one of the largest fires that I've been involved in with the city of Killeen here. First one being the Hilton Garden Inn, just about 4 years ago from now. The fact of the matter is we have a very strong incident command system that we practice and utilize every single day on those smaller incidents so that when we do need it for a large incident like this, we're able to establish it. So it was just business as usual. We established our command and control, and the initial on-scene battalion commanders, both of them made a decision on where they were going to put their stop on the fire. So at that point, it's a hard decision for those battalion commanders because they had to say, we're just going to let this building burn. This is where our line of defense is going to be. They made some great decisions, and in that, we've only kept it to 4 structures. It could have been a whole lot worse given the high winds that continue even now.
And I guess final question for me, but just having to work with, what would you like to say to working with PD from all that, like just communication-wise, from all the departments pulling together for this situation?
The fact that we practice every single day together, we're not strangers to each other, it was a seamless operation. We work very well together. There are no silos here, as is evidenced by the fact that KISD police were on scene quickly as well, assisting us. Bell County Sheriff's the same thing, and we couldn't have done it without the help from PD, so that our firefighters could focus on trying to stop the fire while they assisted in getting people evacuated, getting traffic control, and gaining control of the streets out there. So it would not have been successful without their help, and we definitely have seamless operations with all agencies throughout the county.
Thank you,
Chief
Chief.
Idor, do you know how many KISD personnel responded as far as?
We have a total of
Folks that
8.
reviewed.
We have a total of 8 officers that came to assist.
Excellent, okay. Thank you.
And
Thank
again,
you.
this is not expected to affect clean ISD transportation for the remainder of the school week.
No, we won't expect any impact to transportation services.
All right, Chairman.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job.